let's go ahead and get started, Leanne, and
Okay.
we're being recorded, so we're good to go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm welcoming you back to our Tiny Talks workshop series. Today, as you read in my email, we're with V. Tanner of the Homestead Tiny House Company in Alpharetta, Georgia. And also tomorrow night, Robin's going to talk about this, but I just want you guys to know that we have a very important webinar tomorrow night. And Robin's going to be looking, hopefully we'll have a full house for that. And that's all I got for now. If we have any questions, I will try to address those during the chat. If not, I will definitely get to them afterwards. Okay, thank you, Robin. It's all yours.
Very good, very good. I think Ron, how you doing, Ron? I don't hear you, but I do see you. You might have to do something with your microphone, but put it in the chat. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat there. And but we see you on the screen. Anyway, let's talk. Everybody's you probably already seen V. If you haven't, go back to the first day of our 5-star builder challenge, and he was on there. But what we wanted to do today was actually go through a shop and through some skid units and some finished tiny houses on wheels, kind of like a little tour. V, if you could do that. So I'm going to turn it over to you, V, and let you go ahead and start with your shop, kind of show people around what your shop looks like and how you do stuff there.
All right, sounds good. Let's see. How do I flip my camera around?
There's a button on the front.
I guess.
See the button on the front that looks like a camera?
Oh, there it goes. There we go. Okay. All right. Can everyone hear me? Okay. So, well, that's my office right there. And then this is, you walk out the door of my office. This is our warehouse. So we've got all our tools are over here, and we've got all of our what we call non-inventory sort of supplies like nails and screws and all that kind of good stuff over here. So we like to run a very organized shop with table saws, and then we basically have 5 build zones that we sort of usually will have a unit sort of in each zone. And
how many square feet is it, V? How many square feet is your shop?
We have about 8,000 square feet with, we actually have our build side, and then we also have an inventory side. This is actually our cabinet shop. So we build all of our own cabinets. So this is our cabinet shop here. Shane's our master carpenter. He builds all our cabinets. So he's got some various projects going there for us.
What is your ceiling? A 16-foot ceiling?
Yeah, probably. Oh, maybe like 20 feet.
20 feet? Okay.
Yeah, all 16, right. 20 feet. Like I said, this is our inventory side. So we just got a big old shipment of stuff from Home Depot in. So we've got all our subfloor and OSB and siding and tongue and groove and 2x4s. And we've got like trim pieces and doors over there. We actually have a couple of paint booths. So a couple of paint booths where we pre-paint like trim, and then when our cabinets are done, they get pulled into the paint booths and painted as well. So our inventory side here. Back over to our build side. Like I said, we've got.
Is it half and half for inventory, or how much is inventory?
No,
how much is build?
It's sort of a third and then 2/3.
Okay.
As far as that goes. So as Robin was saying, we do some skid-based units. So this is a little 8x16 unit that we do. We call this the home shed. And we have 2 of these in here right now, and they've actually been purchased by one of our majority owners has a foundation, a family foundation. So they've purchased 2 of these from us, and they're getting donated to I think some veterans, homeless veterans or something like that. So like I said, just a little, it's a little, you know, like a backyard unit. So it's got a little slider here with a little toilet and a 32-inch shower stall in here, a little kitchenette. It'll have an under counter fridge. And then this is just a little, you know, living area here with a little window AC unit there. So we usually do all tongue and groove for our walls and ceilings. Sometimes we leave it natural, or else we do white. See, but everything's either white for walls and ceilings, or we'll leave them natural. But
What
yeah,
did
and then
what did
it's-
one of those units sell for, V?
so if you were gonna order one of these from us, it's around 35,000 for one of these. If you wanted to
Okay,
put
so
one
that
in your
includes the
backyard,
kitchenette, the
Yeah.
kitchen, everything. Okay, about
yeah, a little under
35,000.
counter fridge, yeah, everything's included in that.
Robin,
And then
excuse me,
Yeah.
Robin. I just got an email from Doug Smith. He's waiting to be let in.
All right. All
I'm
right.
sorry,
Okay.
V. Sorry to interrupt this programming.
that's okay. So right now we're doing we have this cute little retail shopping center in Florida that's all tiny house themed. So we're building some units right now that this is going to go. We're going to do like a whole sort of boardwalk of these tiny retail units. So different vendors can purchase these from us, and they can have their own little business at our park. So these are all going to be 10 by 16, 10 feet wide, 16 feet tall, or long, 16 feet long, 10 feet deep. And they'll have like double French doors that open out. So this one's going to have the natural ceiling. So right now we've just painted all the interior walls. And then tomorrow we'll put the natural ceiling up, which we've already polyed all the boards, put the floor in, put the door in. This unit is actually going to ship out first thing Thursday morning. So we got 2 days to finish it. So we're going to be up against it. We're going to be up against it to get this one done in time. But we should be able to do it.
How long does it take to build one of those little ones?
These ones, about 5 days.
You can
Wow.
complete it in 5 days. Does it have a metal roof on it?
Yeah, it'll have a metal roof on it. We've actually got all the roofing is sitting over here. So we're going to actually building 4 of these, all basically identical. There'll be 2 units that mirror each other, and then across the boardwalk, so to speak, there'll be 2 more identical that sort of mirror the 2. So there's only 2 different ones, but they're basically all the same. So we've got all our roofing here, all stacked up, ready to go. The trim as well.
Yeah, and Rod wants to know if this is through the modular program, and I think I know the answer to that. But how did you handle this? The ones that go into Florida?
Oh, how do they get down there?
No, are they permitted? Are they built as a modular since they're on skids?
Yeah. So this development is in this city of Williston, Florida. So it's about 20 miles west of Gainesville. And so the city has allowed us to do these, and the only thing they're making us permit is the electricity.
Hmm.
So
There you go.
yeah.
Are they
So,
being inspected? Are the units
no, we're
being-
not. No, they're not requiring us to inspect them or anything. So we're just building them. Of course,
Right.
we're building them to our normal standards, but they won't. They don't have a secondary egress. There's certain things that we would have to do to get them NOAA certified, and we don't really need that, so we're not gonna do it.
Right. Yeah, if you were going to get it, if you were going to get the build them to the IRC or the modular standard, which
Yeah.
is Florida Building Code in Florida,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
would have to have a 5.0 square foot egress window somewhere.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. So, and because they're commercial units too, so no one's going to live in them.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
yeah, so that's how we don't have to be held that high of a standard either. So this is
Got it.
this is gonna be, so we've actually got the platform already built for a 10 by 24 unit on skids. So we're gonna start building this in a couple of weeks. So This will actually has 4 sets of skids on the bottom of it. They're all pressure treated, and then just like usual, it'll have
I
spray
think we
foam
lost you.
underneath. You lost me?
Hello, or-
I can still see and hear you guys.
I hear him.
Oh, okay, good. It
V,
must
I
be
was just
me.
wondering, could you lift that platform up for us real quick so we could see it?
I can't lift this one up, but I can show you underneath this one. So these, because they're only 16 feet, these are only 16 feet long, so we only do 2 sets of skids on these. So you can see the underneath. So we do all closed cell foam insulation. So we've sprayed all the bottom of this and the skids. All our floor joists are attached with hurricane ties, and then we've got timber locks going into them, into our skids to hold our skirt on, and then we also have lag screws that are going down through our walls into our foundation as well, hold all that in place. So, all right, let's see. So we aren't currently building a tiny house on wheels, but we do have some completed. This one was purchased a few weeks ago, and we had to just add a couple of things in. So this is what we call our Aspen unit. So it's 8 by 24. We always do our mini splits on the tongue. And this is the front. Now this has a removable awning that we also do. It's just not on right now because it's getting ready to be transported. We've just done a few touch-ups on the inside and doing a final clean on it. So, but there's the little kitchenette there for you.
What goes there? You got a sink?
So this has there's a sink right here. These sinks have all kinds of cool accessories like a cutting board and a drain rack and stuff like that.
Is that a Ruvati?
I'm sorry.
Is that sink a Ruvati?
Good question. No, it's Glacier Bay.
Oh.
Yeah. And then this one has a little plug-in induction cooktop. So it's just stored underneath there, but that's what the hood's for. So they'll have a little plug-in induction cooktop there.
And
This
this,
has
does it have
twin
an air?
lofts.
Hey, let's go back to the sink. Do you have an air admittance valve on there, or do you have a
Oh
regular?
yeah, we do. Yeah, all the.
Can you
Oh,
show
man,
everybody
there's-
what that looks like?
Yeah.
Some people may not know.
So
See
that's
that there,
the underneath
guys? That
plumbing there.
that replaces a vent to the outside. You still have to have one somewhere, but you can put these AAVs on the appliances as long as you have 1.5 inch vent to the outside.
Well, the air
Yeah, and
admittance
I
valve
can-
prevents siphoning, right? But the actual vent allows for the pressure backup where an AAV won't do that.
Yeah, it vents the
Right.
methane gas. The vent
Well,
to
we lost
the
some audio
outside will
there.
vent the methane. Yeah.
Right, because methane gas is lighter than air. Right.
Yep.
Someone's frozen.
You're fine.
Can everyone hear me still?
Yes.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Can
we
you hear-
hear you.
His video appears to be frozen though.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
There you go. We're back again.
Okay. Back in business. All right. So this is our secondary loft here. So we got the ladder up there with the railing. We do these 48 by 24 awning style windows for our egress in our lofts. We do a couple of those on each one of the lofts. Primary loft will have built-in staircase going up there. Tempered glass window there for the stairs, and then the same egress windows up the top there as well. This one happens to have a 12-gallon electric water heater in there. So you can see how we sort of hook all that up.
All right.
Standard flush toilet, bathroom sink, air admittance valve in the bathroom sink as well.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And then this one's actually been pre-plumbed and wired for a little washer dryer combo if they want to do one of those in there. The only thing left to do for them would be to do a vent to vent that
Right.
if they choose to vent it out. So that's our Aspen unit there.
All right.
Lee, can I ask a question about your windows and doors? Where do you usually get those? And tell me a little bit about that, because that's been kind of a struggle up here, like especially if you want them painted.
So we get all our windows from Pella. We usually order them. It usually takes about 8 to 10 weeks to get an order of windows. So we try to stay ahead of all that. We do have a tendency to, one thing we learned with the pandemic is to get out ahead of all of the supply chain issues. So we sort of have a pretty good stock of that. The doors, we get all our doors just from Home Depot. So this is just kind of a 6-panel light 32-inch or 36-inch door just from Home Depot.
I was gonna say, it looked like a Feather River Craftsman from Home Depot.
And yeah, so there you can see, so up there you can see that's where our vent comes out for our wastewater. Like Robin was saying, you do have to have a vent that vents the outside. So ours is up there. We just do a normal sort of garden valve hookup for our water in, and 50 amp power supply on the back here. So
What are you using for siding? Is that the LP side?
yeah, this is the LP Smart siding. We really like it. It's got a really high wind limit on it, but it's very lightweight, so it helps us keep the weight down on our homes. We always do metal roofing, so this one has a metal roof on it as well. And we mostly do just a shed style roof like you see here. We don't do too many gable roofs just because it takes longer to build. So we have to charge more for it. So I'm going to take you outside real quick.
Are you maxed
ahead
out
with
on
the
that one at 13.6 height?
Yeah, the high side of our homes are about 13.3. So we're just under
Okay.
the max.
You're losing signal. You might have to switch to digital.
We have oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear me, but maybe you can see me. So we've got a couple of units. These have already been sold as well. So can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
You're
breaking
cutting
up
in
a
and
little
out.
bit. I think we lost you.
Don't know
Does
if I
anybody
can.
else hear him? I don't.
Sorry, we got bad service out the back here.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Oh, I can hear you now.
Yeah, we're
I've
connected.
lost your picture. I don't know if anyone can hear us, but we just got a load of trailers in from Trailer Made. They're out in Colorado. So we've got 3 28s and a 24-foot, so we can start our next round of builds.
V, what are you getting for pricing from them, from Trailer Made?
Ridiculous.
That's that's the same thing I got, which is why I'm trying Iron Eagle right now. I don't like I don't think I like that recessed cavity, but
we love Trailer Made, and honestly, so we were using Anderson out of South Georgia. They're fantastic, but we were actually getting a better price, including shipping, from Trailer Made. So then we were getting from Anderson without shipping, because the Anderson ones we can just pick up, but so we've been ordering from Trailer Made, and also Anderson their lead time was a lot more. So Right now we've been doing TrailerMade. We're always looking for another manufacturer that can give us a better price, a quicker lead time, because it's the last thing you want to do is tell someone who wants to buy a tiny house that you can't give them one for 12 months. So
Yeah.
that's another thing we try to do is we try to make sure we have trailers on hand. So if someone orders a tiny house from us, we can tell them, yeah, we can have it to you in 12 weeks. So,
Well, Ron, you want to come on and unmute there and tell us, he said he had something to say about the
Prefabricates.
trailers.
yeah, Iron someone.
No, Iron Eagle's the one that I got my trailers from here recently. I did buy from a local supplier, but price is a little high for what I got, I think. So I would not recommend them.
Ron's looking for his microphone.
Put your contact
Try-
information in, Ron, and we'll hit you up if we want to.
There you go. Just put it in the chat. Leanne, who did we have on the bonus day?
Trailer, Tiny House Basics in California.
So he does about 400 to 450 trailers a year. I don't know how overloaded but it looked like he was building a pretty good trailer.
We also
Well,
have the
that's,
gentleman in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Tiny House Foundations, I believe it is.
Okay, Tiny House Foundations. Okay.
Yeah, I just talked to Tiny House Basics last week about a 30-foot, and just the base trailer is about $9,800, and then
For
adding the
30
option
foot.
for a 30-foot, and they're about 8 to 12 weeks out. But the good thing for us is they have a facility in Texas, so we can go get it. Without,
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I
and
was
not
going to
have
ask
to-
what the freight was on that from California.
They have 3 facilities. I'm not sure where the other one is. I know one's in Texas, one's in California, and I'm not sure where the third one is. So it might be something you check. Super nice
Another-
guy.
A quick tip too, if you're for shipping, you can use companies like UShip. I know Iron Eagle let me do that. It saved me over $1,000 for shipping.
Yeah, what U-Ship is, guys, these haulers, they are, these truckers, they go back and forth and they don't want to do what's called a deadhead coming back. They make a shipment out somewhere and then they want to come back, at least cover their gas is what they're trying to do. So it's called U-Ship, the letter U, ship.com. And it might be a resource if you're trying to do anything. I was looking at a mobile home coming from North Carolina to Florida. It was like $380 on U-Ship that I had bought one of those FEMA trailers or tried to buy one of the FEMA trailers.
Well, I can tell you, there's a lot of people that just have regular pickup trucks. Mine came behind a Toyota Tundra. The poor guys, I can't imagine. They had 3 trailers stacked behind that Tundra.
Oh my
That was
Lord.
like it was like 7,000 pounds or something like that. Two guys in a truck, just a pickup truck. So that's what you might get that too. You ever watch that show called Shipping Wars? If you ever do, that's kind of what they do. Anybody can get on. It's like a load board. You put up there what you want to pay and what your load is, and they'll come back and give you quotes, and you pick the one you want.
So when you order your trailer stacked like that, what's required to unstack them? Do you have a forklift or you have a lift?
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a good.
You're muted, V. V, you muted accidentally. Can you unmute? Maybe I can unmute.
Well, I'll tell you, for me, my neighbor has a
There we go.
Bobcat. He's a
Can you hear me now?
tractor
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
backhoe, and we were able to pick them up, take them off, but they weigh a lot. I couldn't do it with my.
Yeah,
little tractor.
the first time we got a stack of trailers, one of the owners, he had a horse farm, so we took them out there and we used they have like a skid steer and a tractor, and we sort of lifted them off that way. But now we have let me turn my camera around here.
You got a gantry.
So
crane?
in my old in my that same guy used to own this company, and they did a lot of trade shows. So we have all this truss. So
Mm.
we've built this framework out of this truss, and then we've got just chain lifts on the four corners. So we'll drive that stack of trailers up in here, and then we'll hook one up, lift it off, drive the stack out, lower that one down, and then if we just need the one, then we'll drive the stack back outside and leave it till we need to unstack the next stack. But that's what we do now. So that's pretty tall. We can get all four trailers underneath there just barely, and enough to lift the one off to clear it. Yeah. So
Perfect.
we're very
Perfect.
fortunate to have that to be able to unstack the trailer, because it's not fun. It's not fun trying to get those off, especially when you got a 4-stack like that. Yeah. So
I'm surprised, V, that fancy shop, you don't have a gantry crane in there.
well, we'd like to have one of those, but you gotta prioritize.
So what do you do as far as doors? Do you have 14-foot doors in there to get your trailers in and out, or how high are your doors? 16 feet?
Yeah, so we have so this is a 14-foot roller door with a ramp. So we have to be very slow. They just barely clear with like a couple of inches when we take these out of the shop. But that's our main door there. So that door is like 12 feet wide and 14 feet tall.
Yeah, what a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of those doors, even though they're 14 feet tall, that door doesn't open all the way up 14 feet. It's
Yeah, we're
close.
fortunate that our ceiling is high enough that the door goes all the way up. So we do get full clearance on that. But it's like I said, we're inching that trailer out, and we're double checking that we're not going to scrape the top edge of the roof, especially once you go down the ramp and it kicks the back end up. That gets a little fun. But yeah, we're able to get everything out that we build in here. But it does limit us. We've had people ask for, when we're doing these skid base units, oh, do you do one that's 12 feet wide or 14 feet wide? And we're like, no, we don't, because we won't be able to get it out of our shop. So 10 foot is the max
Yeah.
we will do. Yeah.
Is that a
That
rental
makes-
space or do you own that?
Yeah, it's rented. Yeah, we have a long-term lease on it. Yeah, we're just like in an industrial park north of Atlanta.
I've got nothing like that anywhere near me. I'd have to build.
Well, I've got a guy, Brent, who's going to be building tiny houses. He was a home builder, and he's building a metal building. It's not a big metal building, but he's building a metal building. He's only going to build 8x14s, but he's got the concrete poured and the frame is up, and he'll be building. Hopefully, get this final inspection sometime next month. So you can do that. What's the what is it called? North Carolina, or what is the metal building that company that something garages in North Carolina?
Oh,
Yeah,
Not Versatube, huh?
no, but they seem to have the corner on the market on the East Coast. I don't know whether you guys are out on the West Coast or not, but they North Carolina garages or something like that. I'll find them and post it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah. I mean,
Send that over.
when we first started, we were just like under a pole barn, so it got a little hairy in the wintertime, and then we moved into this section. So we used to have everything just in this side, and when the tenant next door moved out, then we expanded into the bigger space so we could have more space. But yeah, I mean, we started, we just had like a barn, and it was only big enough to sort of get it to a certain point, and then we had to pull it outside and finish it. So
I wish I had a barn.
All right, any other questions or anything? Yeah, you can see we've got all our windows are just, like I said, we've got a good inventory worth of windows. These are all our 2x4 or 48 by 24 inch awning windows. We've got, yeah. So like I said, when it takes them 3 months to get them to you, you don't want to be in the middle of a building. Oh, we need one more window, so.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
North Carolina
lots of fun.
carports is what it is. I'll put it in the chat if I can figure out how to do that. Yeah, let's talk windows, guys. That seems to be you know, we were talking about how to stock up inventory. I have a white aluminum a couple of months ago, and they were having this window sale. They do vinyl and they do aluminum windows. They do a lot of different windows. Let me get full screen here. Trying to do two things at once and can't do it all. There we go. And let's see if I can put something in the chat. There we go. So anyway, they had a thing on the on their counter that they were selling their windows discounted, you know, whatever, any window $50. And so I went and looked at them and I bought every one of them. And I had to rent a U-Haul to get them in. But I bought every one of them for $50 and I have a whole inventory. And these are nice 6x6 sliders, double insulated. Some of them are bulletproof glass, some of them are tempered. But if you're building tiny houses, you can actually do what you want, you know, fit in, you know, build the tiny house around, if you're custom building, around the windows that you have. So just a thought. And then I did that again with Pella. Pella was getting rid of all of their inventory, and I was in Longwood. They have a Pella plant there, and I saw them throwing them in the garbage. They were throwing them in the dumpster, and I stopped them and I said, "Hey, you guys throwing those away?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, can I go get my trailer? You just set them beside the dumpster." And they just gave them to me, a whole some Palladia windows and some, you know, I mean, just so keep your eyes and ears open on those kinds of things. I mean, I just lucked on to those two, but
Yeah,
We've got a
there's
place,
nothing like that near me. I mean, I'd have to probably I'm out in the woods, so I'd have to travel quite a ways just to get anything like that.
I got you. Well,
there's a place near us called Builder Surplus. I know they have a couple locations in Atlanta, and then I think they have 3 in Texas, but it's a great place. Like when we had to get our first 5x3 slider to we were able to get some from them. So they've got quite a lot of stuff. Like I said, they're only in Atlanta and Texas, so I don't know if that's close to any of you guys or not.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. All right. Well, guys, that's the tour. Any questions before we wrap this thing up?
V, I did have one more question. Like when you guys started, tell me a little bit about your adventure. I mean, how did it start and how long did it take you to start making any money, like profit? Don't have to be specific about figures, but just kind of an idea of the timeline.
Yeah, so we first started, so I said we have 2 majority owners, and the money guy, like the real smart finance guy, basically sold his company, and he was semi-retired, and he owned a horse farm, and he was looking for a tiny house for his stable manager to be able to live full time on the property. And at first he was going to build a little cabin, and then that price was ridiculous. And then he said, well, what if I buy a tiny house? And then he started looking at tiny house, and he said, those are ridiculous prices. We can just build our own. Then he started looking at tiny homes. He's like, there's a real opportunity here to do something. And so he lured one of his former employees away from the company he sold, and they started this tiny house business. And then after they were going a couple months, I joined them. And like I said, we were just in a barn on this piece of property that he had. So we probably and it wasn't long before we started thinking it might be a good idea to even build for ourselves. So one of the first things we did, we'd only built probably 3 or 4 homes, and we decided that we were going to build our own tiny house resort. So we were fortunate that our majority owner had deep pockets. So we've kind of been we've kind of been self-funded for the last few years. So we were very fortunate of that. But so we started a second company that was going to build this resort. So the one company bought houses from the other company. And so we built our own little resort down in Florida. It's got 7 little units on it, plus a little tiny house coffee shop. And it's just the whole resort's on Airbnb. So it's been open for just over 2 years, and we've pretty much made enough money to pay for all the units in 2 years. So
Awesome.
so that was kind of how we got our start. And then from there, that sort of was, one of the best marketing things that we had. So anytime people were looking for a tiny house, we're like, well, go stay at our resort in Florida. And then they would order from there. So, we're still, and we were just getting ramped up when COVID hit us. So like a lot of people, we, it was difficult, but we managed to weather the storm, and now we're sort of back on track. And yeah, we're doing all right. I wouldn't say when you look at our bottom line, we're probably not making a ton of money, but we're making enough to keep going at this stage. But the future is very bright. We have several very exciting things in the pipeline that are we've been working on. So the future is looking very bright.
We have a question for you, V.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you ever got to see it, but I did feature your resort on my social media. Because I saw it on.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I'm in Central Florida too, and I saw it on the news. I'm like, oh, Homestead,
Yeah.
way cool. All right, so can I ask how people know about you? How do you get your current customers? How do you advertise?
That is the $1 million question. And we're still figuring that out too. So we're on Facebook, and we do Facebook ads, and we're on Google. We do Google ads. So we do put some money into both of those every month. Trying to get the right keywords, all that kind of stuff. It's not really my area of expertise, so I can't go into too much depth about what we're doing on that. But we've been doing things like, I'll just grab one of our houses and I'll drive it out to like a Home Depot here in Atlanta, and just park in the parking lot and put a little open house sign out and just open the door, and people will just stop and have a look at it. And
that's cool.
We've taken our homes to there's a big several big antique markets that are once a month here in Atlanta. So we've taken our homes to both of those and gotten quite a lot of leads from that. We're going to be going to the Tiny House Festival here in Georgia this weekend. So we'll be taking 2 of our homes down there. So we're hoping that bears a lot of fruit down the road. Yeah, so a lot of stuff like that.
You guys don't build on foundations, do you?
No, everything's built here in the factory, either on skids or on wheels, and it gets delivered by a shed mover or, by a logistics company. Yeah, we don't do any on-site building.
Couple of questions. Do y'all do your own in-house designing? And when you are designing a tiny house, and obviously everybody looks all over the internet at designs and likes and dislikes, how do you keep from somebody saying, hey, that is my design, I just saw you build, if you're not stealing their plans, but you're tweaking things? I mean, when does it cross the line?
That's a good question. I mean, there's only so much you can do on an 8 by 24 foot trailer. So you're gonna do some stuff that other people are doing, but we do. So Kevin is he's one of our majority owners, and he actually he's a graphic artist by, that's what his degree in is, graphic arts. And so he does all of our designs, and I don't know, we've never had anyone come after us. So, I mean, I showed you some of our stuff. I mean, some people might call our stuff boring. We don't do a lot of the really interesting elevations that you see a lot of custom builders do. but we learned, early on that doing a totally custom tiny house just drives the price up, because everything that you have to figure out how to do, costs labor. So we kind of decided what we liked, and we do a real solid house that isn't super custom. So yeah.
I like what you were saying about the shed roofs.
Yeah.
Half rakes. Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of the approach I'm taking. If I build one that I haven't sold to a customer already and they ask for custom work, then I'm building them with, just as simple as I can. But I mean, my motto is simple living, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's, to me, it's the more simple you can make it, the better, right? I mean, isn't that the goal after all?
Oh yeah. Well, like we said, one of our 8 by 24 foot Aspen, we can build one of those in like 12 days. And we'll do a gable roof for you. We do offer some upgrades, but a gable roof's going to cost you twice as much as a shed roof. So it's up to you if you want to pay the extra money. We'll do it for you. But yeah, it's all about labor costs.
How many people you have working for you?
We have about 12 here in this here. So we have some customer support people. We basically have a 4-man build team. So we sort of have 2 of us sort of do all the front work, all the framing, all the roughing, and then we have a 2-man finish crew that basically, once the interior has been painted, they go in and do all the trim work and install the cabinets and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah. And then we have our cabinet builder, and we've got a couple of other support staff. We have a full-time painter. All he does is paint everything for us. Yeah.
That's cool. So you have about 12 workers, or how many workers would you say?
We have 12 employees total.
12
here.
employees. So some are in the office there.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And as far as the plans go, guys, I know that question came up. It's very hard. I mean, if you take Tumbleweed's plans and build an exact model of Tumbleweed, they'll send you a cease and desist letter. I know Steve does that. But bottom line, there's so many. And
Now Robin's breaking up.
Yep. Lost him.
Oh, boy, it's Monday.
and that's the only one that I know that really is concerned about their designs and a set of plans or a design. Did I lose you?
You did for a second. Yeah.
We lost
okay.
you.
All right, yeah. As long as you don't go crazy and do exactly the other one, you shouldn't have any problem. Robin,
Boy, the kids must have come home from school. That's what I hate about broadband.
Mhm. Robin.
He probably
Any other
realizes-
questions, Leanne?
I don't have any in the chat. Anybody got any other questions for V? Homestead Tiny House Company and Homestead Tiny Resort. I'm gonna have to go take a tour of that resort.
Well, and so if you're headed to the resort, as you're heading into Williston, on the right is where our whole tiny retail development is, right there in Williston too. So you got to check that out. It's really cool.
and you got to check out the coffee shop too.
There
Explain
you
that.
go.
What are you talking about retail development?
So we bought an old like Winn-Dixie shopping center. And what we've done is the first phase. So part of the original buildings, there was it was a covered part. It only had like 2 walls and then like a roof over it. So our first phase was we put 9 8x16 tiny house stores under there, and then built a big bar in the middle of it. So right now in there's a little clothing boutique, there's a little candy shop, there's a taco stand, there's a burger stand, there's an axe throwing section, there's So there's just little, so it's a whole, retail, and like I said, and a bar that serves beer and wine. And next to that, we built a big pavilion where we do like cornhole tournaments and stuff like that. And then
Cool.
so we have a whole series of phases, and the next phase is going to be out from that. We're going to do a whole sort of boardwalk of tiny retail stores. So there will be sort of, a whole lane with tiny retail stores on our side. So we're trying to make it a whole shopping destination to try to lure people from Gainesville and Ocala to come to Williston.
That's a great idea.
Nice.
That
Yeah,
good.
that's
We
real
have,
nice.
my town that I live in, we literally have one commercial property, nothing else. There's no commercial zones. Everything's residential. It's literally where the old store used to be on the four corners.
Yeah. Well, one
Yeah.
reason why we picked Williston for our resort is there was not a single hotel room in the whole town. So, Williston's right on the intersection of two major highways that go to the Nature Coast of Florida. So, so we're pretty much booked out almost all the time. Yeah.
What do you charge a night for your units?
I think it's like 125 a night to 105 to 125, depending on if it's a week or night or a week. And then there's, of course, there's cleaning fees and stuff like that. And then I think that's off season. But the off season actually, during the winter is actually our busiest time, because you have everyone going down to Ocala to do all their training, because that's where everyone trains for equestrian down there in Ocala. So we get a lot of people coming down for like 2 weeks or a month, or, when they're down there to train.
Cool.
That
Yeah.
is cool.
Well, I do want to, before we wrap up, guys, I want to see if you can, it's very important. Tomorrow, we will be addressing something that may make or break, I guess you can say, the tiny house industry. We're going to be talking about some things that are going on in Colorado, Maine, especially, that will flow over into, we believe will flow over into the rest of the states. And, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much, but basically what's happening is there are, we've seen more lawsuits against tiny house builders in the last 6 months than we had in the previous 6 years. And, the consumers are starting to, squeak a little bit, I guess you could say. And there's some builders out there that aren't doing good work. So the legislators are actually going to be starting to regulate these things. And so I wanted to kind of bring everybody up to speed on where we are, where we're going, where the tiny house industry is, where it's heading, and how we can all help out, so that at the end of the day, we come up with something that we like, rather than having something crammed down our throat that we don't like. And that's pretty much, the way I kind of look at it right now. So tomorrow, same time, same station. Leanne, you got anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
All right.
Do you think those lawsuits are more because there's more tiny house builders out there, or do you think it's just because you got too many people out there building $20,000 and $30,000 tiny houses?
Well, what we've seen is out of ignorance, they just don't know. One of them was and it was a NOAA inspected and certified tiny house, but what they did is they put their spray foam insulation, and they thought they were doing a good thing, and then they put 2-inch foam board on top of the studs and then put the interior finish on. So we didn't see it in the
Oh, losing him.
Oh, dear.
I like that image though.
Right.
section.
Put your hands in the
Robin
air.
for president. Robin for-
Yes. And I don't know the end of that story, so I can't fill in.
He'll probably tell it tomorrow anyways. I was just curious.
Robin, yes, he
I
will.
was just
Oh,
curious if there was just that many more builders coming onto the scene, or
yeah,
if it was just nefarious. I mean, I've seen a lot of people out there, touting their, 10, 20, $30,000 homes. And I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for any other builder, but when I see that, it makes me cringe because I just
Yes.
know they're not building a quality product at that price.
that's the
There's no
thing.
way. Trailers
there's no
alone are
way.
nearly 10 grand.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
mean,
There's no way.
that's why I tell people all the time. They go, I saw those tiny houses for $20,000 or $30,000. I said, yeah, if you build it yourself, maybe,
Right. You
and
see
you build
people,
with recycled lumber, reclaimed
Right.
windows and doors, but
yes,
what kind of quality are you getting?
right. It's
Yeah.
not NOAA certified and it might fall apart traveling down the road.
Yeah.
Oh, you're back?
Yeah, yeah.
Finish your
we're gonna move
story.
off.
I gotta
We're-
go, guys. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
V.
Thanks, V.
Thank
See you
you,
later.
V.
Okay,
We really
bye.
appreciate your time.
Robin, you left off at this.
Have a great night.
Okay, but you were asking about what are the lawsuits about?
Yeah, you had mentioned that something about some spray foam and some solid foam over it, and then you kind of disappeared.
And then they put the interior finish on top of that, and you have to drive your nails all the way through 2 inches of foam into a stud, and it just wasn't done properly. So that was that issue. We had some shorts where the wiring in one of the receptacles was not correct, and this older lady was getting shocked on it. Handrails, guardrails, that's another issue. Moisture intrusion's been a big one, where you don't have an overhang and you don't have an overlay, so you got to be real careful about your moisture barriers and roofing and that kind of thing. So that's mainly what we've seen out there on the lawsuits. But it just raises the eyebrows of the consumers, where they say, are these inspected and certified? And the answer is a lot of them are not. And so that's why the stuff is coming, guys. It's coming. And I think it's going to come on us fast. I think we've got about 12 to 18 months. And then we're going to be regulated in some form.
Well, I'm with you.
All right.
Great, the regulations.
Me too.
All right. Well, that being said, goodbye. Good night.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Terry.
right. I can send the recordings out, Jordan. Share those with me as soon as I get this week. So I'll send those. But oh, Mike was asking. So do you want last week's, Mike? Okay, perfect.
I
All
do
right,
too.
guys. You do too?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm working on tiny house on a foundation, and I don't usually have time. I'm
Yeah.
usually driving back from the site at this time. Today was a
Gotcha.
rain day. If you can't see it out there, it's gloomy New England weather.
Ooh.
Yuck.
It's that
All
time
right,
of year.
guys.
All right,
Thank you.
kids. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.